am as harmless as ladybug spots reflecting sun.
When my back is broken from all this weight, and the pain is terrifying.
From now on, I am the third word in a sentence of 16, and I don't care if you forget me, just don't let your thoughts perish.
And I could not hear, see, or feel what God was doing. And at this particular time, this particular guy, he flew in.
Cause when I look in the sky, I wonder if I'll be sent up there. Thinking of heaven, that's a place I would love to live in and literally spend endless years.
You're watching the East by Southeast Spoken Word Showcase. I am C'est La Vie, and I am here with the Queen of Slam, Ebony Stewart. I know she's laughing because that's technically not her official name, but I really think it is her official name. So from now on, you should call her the Queen of Slam because she goes that hard, ladies and gentlemen. She is just a phenomenal poet, and she's always been on the show with us, and I'm glad to have you back.
Glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Because we always get to see your progression of creativity.
Yeah, I know, right? That's a good feeling to have.
So, Eb, you just wrote a book, and it's called Love Letters to Bald Fist.
Correct.
What does that mean? Can you elaborate a little bit? That's a beautiful title.
Thank you. So, I feel like I'm rough around the edges, and then people get to see like a smoother side once they get to know me. And I'm also like transitioning in my life with love and relationships, and I wanted to be very honest and truthful in how much we fight to keep what we have, but then, you know what I mean? Through everything you need love. So
yeah,
that's pretty much how it came about.
The book is awesome. I want y'all to look up Ebony Stewart, find out about the book. Even the texture of the book in your hand feels good. I'm like, forget what's in the book. I just love the way this book feels. It feels so good. And we were back in the green room talking. Can you share with them? There was a poem that almost didn't make it into the book.
Yes, that's very true. So there was Driving Backwards, and how I set this poem up basically is it's everything that I'm thinking when no one is listening. And it goes from my childhood and growing up in a single parent household and transitioning into trying to be a woman and figure out what kind of woman do I even want to be.
Oh, that's something she just said right there.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
And so they didn't want it in the book at first, right? They were like, well, maybe it shouldn't start the book. And I had to fight for it. Felt like Lupe.
And then what happened once you stuck and you're like, no,
I stuck
it's
it
staying.
out. Yeah, I stuck it out, and so many women have come up to me just appreciating the poem. People in general have picked out certain lines that spoke to them in a certain way, so it worked.
I'm so glad you didn't buckle.
Right.
You know, as poets, sometimes we have to trust our intuition. Like you said, Lupe, you got to be like, no. The more you fight me on this, the more I'm going to dig my heels in the ground.
Yeah.
There's no chance we're going to hear that poem, are we?
Oh, there's not, but sure, we can do it.
You're going to throw it in there?
Let's throw it in.
Score one for the home team. So what else?
Yeah.
What other poems?
So we're gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll do that one, and I'll do a poem about time, how we have a lot of time, but not really.
Wow.
And how time is like this thing that we take for granted, but we want so much more of. I want to do, obviously, like I'm still a teacher, so I want to do a poem about teaching and try to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Let's get ready. Austin, Texas, Ebony Stewart.
Thank you. Backwards driving. I'm not sure what type of girl I am, or the kind of woman I think I still have time to be. Everything about my life reminds me of blowing bubbles. Things take effort, look pretty, and simple up in the air, falling all over the sky, floating like foxtails with eyes like iridescent goldfish. Everything has promise, and then we're all grassroots going up. Does anyone else make wishes with their fallen eyelashes? I know I do. I am always a little bit odd and out, sitting inside my backpack or the ghost streak side of an eraser. Most times, I do this to myself. I want to be so New York, but not even Texas will let me go. I've decided that means I'm worth keeping. But I'm such a small thing in Texas. I've decided that every time the clock picks 11:22, it's my birthday. I've been born twice a day for 30 years now, and it's not getting any easier. I wish I knew what kind of people my parents were before they met me. I feel the need to hide things about myself. The day I cut imaginary eyelids into my wrist and realized the slits were too deep, I knew I was human. That I knew how to die. and started wearing bracelets and hair bows round my wrist. It's not all depressing, I'm sure. My smile has saved someone's life before. I try daily. In mirrors, I find my cookie crumbs and curiosity, even ears dangling from my fingertips like everybody else. I love to tell stories and make laughter through stampede chests or see the earth turn to green before the storm. Redbirds catch my attention. Sun rays making peekaboo skies do too. I am not a fan of bluebonnets. I know, we live in Texas, but I like how they choose where to spread themselves. I am not picky, but selective. I also don't believe that sharing is an option, not an obligation. It could be dangerous to give too much of yourself. But maybe if someone would have taught me how to love right, I'd be able to keep things in my hands longer and not write so plain. Is it weird to want to be a disease you will never get rid of? So even if you don't want me there, you can't help but deal with me? Sometimes I make up things that sound like the truth. I just need to be loved. It all hurts. At night, while lying in bed, if I close my eyes quick enough, I can play a reel of my mother. I've got too many poems about her and I don't care. Since when are there too many stars in the sky? I come from a long line of women. A long line of storytellers, not the kind of storytellers that lie, but the kind that make believe for a living, the kind who sit up straight, could give a care about David or Goliath, and words like the axe Jack used for the beanstalk, the kind whose bellies swell and shake when they talk, whose throats grind and minds engineer. Women raised me. Women who can smother anything and swallow feelings whole, round women whose booties used to be tabletops, now they fold for altar prayer. Their mothers taught us how. Sway women. Love, lose, and gather women. Women whose hair doesn't match their skin. You'd have to be pretty for a dark-skinned girl to know what I mean. The kind. They carry bundles and bags, wear a do-rag and cuss, closed fist women, open arms and legs too wide women, single household women. My mother say her kids will never need for nothing. Got one auntie say, if you ain't speaking Guapanese, you can't be talking to me. These women who carry a pen, a switchblade, and bubble gum in their purses, I say, these women make the world go round in verses. The original superhero. Dear Austin, I teach your kids how to use condoms. I teach them how to make healthy decisions and to wait until they're ready. I teach your daughters how to love themselves and how to ration it off, who's not worthy and why. I teach them self-esteem and a little thing called permission and how nobody have a right to, lest she say so. Mouth, thighs, heart included. I teach the power of choice. How to cross her legs and stop referring to her best friends as trick. Your sons will learn how to treat women and how to think without consulting their private parts, that just because she didn't hear you doesn't make it okay that the word faggot is degrading and has a way of making people disappear. They both will learn that being gay is not something you get by sitting next to or being friends with someone who is, that the word nigger, nigger, nigga will light more fires than you know how to put out, will start more fist fights than you have knuckles, and right when you thought it was okay, someone will disappear before the regret comes. I teach them strength and build mind muscle, and every now and then I teach them how to dot an I or cross a T, how to read cursive, read color, write down walls, and believe anything is possible. I give them money, snacks, and the hugs you forgot they needed. I teach them to blow their noses, to say excuse me, please, and thank you, to go slow. To do it right the first time, I'll send them back every time until they get it right, that a false sense of entitlement only guarantees disappointment, that respect is not an option, but a requirement. So Miss Ebony, Miss E, Miss Stewart will be the only names I respond to. I tuck my cape into my skinny jeans on my way to work. I wear sneakers in a brand to get anywhere, anyhow. Yes, Austin, I do it all for them. And you're welcome. So the thing about growing up in Texas is that it's hot. And as a little girl, I didn't like to wear dresses because it was hot and I didn't like my legs to be sweating up against me. So, this is a poem called Tomboy. Mama say, don't get wrapped up daydreaming about some boy, especially when he would never look your way. You could have him if you wanted to. You just have to do too much to get him. That don't make him act right, though. And I don't know how to make hot water cornbread. I just like to eat it. Every time I walk by Mr. Newsom's house, he say, "Good, what you good for?" I tell him none of his business under my breath. Sometimes I wish his old self could hear me. Mama always saying, I gotta know when to speak soft, don't lose my head just cuz. Miss Neal say, she got more pants than she got dresses, gonna forget she a girl. But the world ain't never gonna let me forget what's between my legs. I be wanting to say something to her too, but she press her hair. So, Mama say keep your head straight so I don't get burned, but Miss Neal will burn you anyway. All this hair on your head bet not be tender-headed. Tender-headed ain't got nothing to do with you burning me. I always wonder when she gonna die. But then who gonna do our hair? Wearing pants don't make you a boy. And they don't hear you right when you got on a dress. Just make you less in they mind. Last time I wore a dress, I caught Johnny Hart trying to look up at what I do. Chase him down the street with a butcher knife. See how many coochies he gonna look at after that. So many names for it. Pee-pee, hoo-ha, punana. Boys act stupid once they figure out you got one. The Jamaican and Creole side of me call it a coochie or a twat. Whatever you call it, Johnny Hart wasn't gonna see mine. Yeah, I like boys okay, I guess. Read this one book, Arthur Mahogany L. Brown say, boys are dumb, throw rocks at them. I be throwing rocks at this one boy all the time. He only like girls who wear dresses and hair bows and don't throw rocks. I caught him looking at me one time, but he stopped. Probably because I told him I'd give him a knuckle sandwich if he kept staring at me. So he stopped. Now every time I want him to look at me, he ain't. He must don't know I got one. A coochie, I mean. Not a knuckle sandwich. Mama say, some men don't know what they want, so how we expect a boy to? I say, if he do like girls who wear dresses, he'll never look my way. And the only thing he'll ever see in my hair is a pencil. I heard Miss Porter say, after church one day, don't no man want no woman who always thinking, reading, and writing all the time. They say me writing poetry is a dead giveaway, but Mama say I'm talented in hers, and that's all that matters. And if they were really reading the Bible, they know how that one scripture go, he who finds a woman finds a good thing, or something like that. It don't say nothing about what she wearing, that she reading, writing, or thinking.